Wow. It's 1 o'clock at the Rock, WKGL-FM, Middletown, New York. I'm Jackie London with you all night long, baby. Let's play one now for Cindy. She's an all-night answering service operator. She wants to hear hot chocolate, you sexy thing. I just was reminiscing about a life that has escaped me when I had my big afro, permed, of course. And people would call me all night long. And, you know, I was fulfilling my dream to be an all night rock and roll DJ. Welcome to Pop On to Pop Off. If I got a story to tell you, and it'll be mostly for the replay crowd, we meant to do this. I meant to do this like 12 hours ago at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But I quickly discovered I couldn't get camera on a live shot. The camera was working fine. I could see it on the OBS, but I could not get it when we set up the live. It was just a black screen. If I went live, I wasn't sure if you'd see me, but I can't see myself. I don't know. So Andy, Handy Dandy Andy, also known as Red Bear on Twitch. Is Twitch still around? I keep forgetting to verify that with him. He may be back to the Minecraft thing all the time. I don't know. But, well, we've got 3 watching that found me. As I was saying, if you didn't hear me say this, I meant to do this 12 hours ago and tried to, but I didn't have camera in the live. And so that led to my engineer, Handy Dandy Andy, coming up here. And he must have spent about 2 hours sitting here. And he saw right away I had some infestation. And so we had to up our security game. And he got rid of those 4 things. He's very good at finding out the IP address for scoundrels, if that's who they be. That's a work in progress. But he could not figure out for the life of me or the life of him why we couldn't get camera for live. We could get camera for OBS, which means you're pre-recording a video and you're going to transfer it to YouTube, and that's fine. But we couldn't get it. We tried, and he tried. Then I had to go to a sensual testing procedure or two over at the medical facility 2 miles down this very road that I'm speaking to you on. Let me tell you this before I tell you what it was. It was a lot better. It was a lot better than an MRI. It was a lot better than an endoscopy. Endoscopy, said the announcer. And it was a lot better than a colonoscopy. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. But anyway, Karen Gagnon found us. Hi, Jack and Karen and everyone. I think Karen's probably fast asleep now. I was trying to do this 12 hours ago, and we could not get camera. And that led to, a lot of investigations and what have you. So we're going to be live Saturday night, special time, 10 p.m. for Worldwide Ramblings. We'll give the results of the Bob Joyce poll that we posed last Saturday night. I'll be looking at like 3 videos to add everything up, not the live stream from last week. Don't try to find a way to put it there because I won't be looking at that. I've already got those results. But the 511 show, you can put your vote yes or no there. Well, if this is all new to you, you say, well, what vote are you talking about? By the way, Jackie London was a name I used to use for a brief time on the overnights when I was playing the rock and roll. It's the music of the devil. I stopped playing Sympathy for the Devil after I became a born-again Christian. it wasn't like coming up in rotation. It would have been my choice to play it. I didn't get really too many requests for it, but man, I got plenty over the years for Stairway to Heaven and Freebird. I thought maybe some band should come along and just record both of them together, like a medley. Maybe you could put one more in there too. We'd have to fight over what the third one would be that would be most requested. I'm not talking about, Celine Dion or Madonna. I'm talking about in the rock and roll vein, you know. I'm very glad that you're here. Who else has joined me? 8 people watching. Pop on to pop off on an early Friday morning now, the 17th of May. The 17th of May. Um, so I am so happy. I didn't think I was going to have camera. I thought I was going to have to do a pre-recorded howdy. Sorry, I know some of you are trying to, mellow out for the night. They call me Mellow Yellow. I'm not a popular soda. Never really was. Maybe in some areas, but not around here in New York. I can tell you that. I'm just mad about what was it? Saffron? She's just mad about me. Donovan saw him right down the street many moons ago at the Paramount Theater. And the announcer that night was one of my fellow radio colleagues, Mark West. Rest in peace, Mark West. He died just a few months back. I was with him in the intensive care unit, and he was found in his bungalow. You know, DJs never make a lot of money, and when they're a solo act, it's really tough. And he was found on the floor by a woman that cared about him very much, and he had been there for a while. And they got him to the hospital. And but I told him all his life. I said, Mark, you can't be smoking these Chesterfields. You gotta stop, buddy. You gotta stop. But he wouldn't listen. He never would. And he had, various ailments, but he was a mega talent on the air, beloved. Anyone that's over 60 in this area, um, if you said, "Do you remember Mark West?" They say, "Oh, yeah, yeah, I used to listen to Mark West. I worked for him several times. He had 2 internet radio stations, and in 2018, I gave him 6 months of my time. The station never really built an audience, but I gave him 6 months of my time, playing all variety of music on a reboot of WHN, which in its original form was a giant station in New York at 10:50 a.m. for many years. Hi, Redneck Ways. How are you? I forget where you are. I don't know what part of the globe you're on. It's just slipped me mind. Yvette is here. Hi there. Just came on. I just came on and you just came on, right? I tried to do this at 1 o'clock, as I said, Yvette, but we could not get camera for a live shot. No matter what we did, like I was doing anything, Andy was trying to figure out everything because we had camera, but we just the moment we went to set it up for the live feed, it was black as the night, and we weren't feeling all right. So I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad 7 people are here. Please hit the subscribe and like button. Hello, replay crowd. How are you? We're going to have a lot of fun Saturday night on Worldwide Ramblings at 10 p.m. East Coast time. Translate that to your time, whether you be in Australia, where it's going to be like early afternoon, late morning, or the UK, wherever you may be, South Africa, New Zealand. Hello, Carmen in New Zealand. Hello, hello. Hello. Saying hello. I'm thinking of Peter Noon. He'll be in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania this Saturday night. This is what you do if you're a Peter Noon fan and you're anywhere near Wilkes-Barre. You can always catch me you can catch me on your phone on the way home because we'll be on at 10 o'clock and his show will be about over by then. It'll be over. He does about 75 minutes or so and starts at 8 o'clock. But, he signs autographs and has T-shirts and CDs, et cetera, that he has. and he's out there himself meeting and greeting the fans. So if you were going to go to Wilkes-Barre, this is what you do. About 6 o'clock, there's a parking garage near this theater you're going to see Peter Noon, because it's close to where I saw Jimmy Stir. You park there. It's not too expensive. Don't take the elevator, especially on the way back at night, because I think homeless men live in there. And you go to a place called Franklin's, just a few doors down from the theater you're going to go to for your meal. Oh, a nice place. Try the cauliflower poppers. Since you're eating vegetables, the fact that it's deep fried, no big deal. The cauliflower, you're eating a vegetable. It will offset. It will offset the grease and the crispiness of the dough that surrounds your cauliflower that's been uh, taking a nice swim in the hot oil. And but great drinks and everything like that. There, have I still got a tickle? Come on now. It's getting better. I've been using that throat spray, which goes into your lungs. I have clear lungs for the most part, but it's just the Dickens, I tell you. It's just the Dickens. It won't completely go away. I believe I met Pastor Bob at Graceland. Well, um, you're free to tell that story here. You can tell me in an email, Jack the Fair Guy, Fair, Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com. But let me tell you, Yvette, if you saw a guy with a white beard and a white mustache, and he was maybe doing some gardening, that is the gardener. I have pictures of him somewhere, but I don't have them in front of me right now. But he has the Kenny Rogers look, which Robert Wayne Joyce adopted, and then Bob Joyce copied. That's how I believe it goes. I speak of possibilities. I could be full tilt bozo. I could need to be put in the loony bin right now. You know, me mom was in there a number of times, but just for like 2 weeks, and then she was fine. Oh, the power of medication. It's the thinking you don't need the medication to get you back in the loony bin. I've never had anything like that. She was kind of schizophrenic. She's going down the stairs with her eyes closed. We're on Commonwealth Avenue. I'm about 10 years old. I say, Mom. And I knew that she was starting to have problems here. And I was going to have to tell Dad, who was down doing his plumbing job in New York City. And he would stay in White Plains during the week with my half sister. I said, Mom, what are you doing? She said, I'm studying for a movie. I'm going to play a blind person. I'm Betty Davis and I'm going to play a blind person in a movie. And I said, okay, Mom, while you're doing that, I'm going to go take all the cutlery out of the kitchen. But Mom had another weapon for me that I never saw coming. Well, I did see it coming, but I stood there and let it happen. I wasn't the brightest kid then, I'll admit it. She took a 33 and a third record. She was by the record player, and I was on the other side of the room. I'll tell you, Mom was a pretty good shot. It could have been Peter Noon. It could have been Herman's Hermits. She had that album. The Best of Herman's Hermits was their first album that was released in the United States. Peter Noon had no control over that. They had already had some success in Britain, and now they're going to invade America, being introduced to America. And what's the first album? What does the record company Capitol call the album? The Best of Herman's Hermits. He didn't like that at all, but he loved a big picture of him on the back. Anyway, it could have been that. But at some point, she took the 33 and a third record out of the sleeve. And I tell you, it was like she could have been a javelin thrower or very good at Frisbee. She threw it in my direction and got me right here. Got me right here. At that point, Dad knew that it was time to do something about this. And but all she needed was a little medication, and then you'd never know there was anything wrong with her. And it wasn't great medication like it is now. There was no lithium then, I don't believe. It was that one that would make her breakout, her face, and what have you. Before there was Haldol, there was I can almost get it out off the top of me tongue, but I can't get it. Hi, Marty Greco. How are you? Um, anyway, I was okay, but mom needed to spend some time away. I spoke her name and she came into existence. That's like the part of Dark Shadows I'm on right now and in the 700 episodes. No, wait a minute. We're in the 800s now. I think we just watched 835 and 34. We always see two a night. And yeah, yeah, baby. Um, Roger Davis, who's 85 years old, who's going to be at the Dark Shadows Remembrance party at the Marriott Hotel in Burbank, California, July 5th and 6th, with some of the other surviving cast members. He's 85. He replaced Peter Duell in Alias Smith and Jones After Dark Shadows when Peter Duell took his life. Didn't take Roger's life, he took his own, you know. But he is playing a famous painter now, Charles Delaware Tate. Charles Delaware Tate. And he has been given this gift by Count Patofi. So he is a renowned painter. People spend an incredible amount of money to have him paint their portrait, for example, all over the world. Probably women chase him. Roger's a good looking man, still is. And but he has this strange gift from Count Patofi that gave him the ability to be renowned. When he paints something, it comes into existence. It may be a beautiful vase, or it may be a beautiful woman. And the woman that he has painted most recently is Donna McKenney, or McKenchie, who's starring in Wicked right now at 81 years old on Broadway. I never wanted to see Wicked. Frankly, the commercials for it with the witch made me sick. It was like a yuck. I never want to see that. But now that Donna's in it, and she doesn't look 81 years old, I would almost like to see it. I'd like to see her. That's what I'd like to see. You know, I'm not really into musicals all that much, but if they're extraordinary, like Sound of Music, that's a horse of a different color, Carmen from New Zealand. Well, thank you. Um, check out Carmen's YouTube channel, Right Cheer. She works hard, and you can see her music videos right here. Um, what age did you start singing, Carmen? Tell me. So, yeah. Anybody I've missed here? I mean, I didn't plan to come on at 1 o'clock in the morning. I planned to come on at 1 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. I was all ready to do it, and then I had no camera when I switched to live, the live feed to go live on YouTube. And I knew YouTube wasn't mad at me because they would have sent me something that if they said you were suspended, bro, or something like that. We had bats in our belfry, and Andy had to take care of that and reinforce our security and look into the IP addresses of some possible problem people. And yeah, so there was all that, but he could not get that camera up. So I come in here tonight and I get ready to go on live, but I'm pretty sure I'm curious because he wasn't sure of this either. Maybe I could go on live and you would see me just like you're seeing me now, but it would just be a blank screen to me. So the only way I think I might possibly know is that I would see your comments come up, you know. But as I'm getting ready, I'm on the next step to pressing the button that says go live, you know. And I look around because I've just set up my background and everything. Say hello to Pinocchio Biden behind me. And I've just set it up and I've got everything else ready to go. And I look and I see the cameras on. So praise the Lord. Um, just like we don't know what took it down, we don't know what brought it back up. I'll tell Andy later. He may be watching right now. Um, let me know if you are, Andy. Just say howdy, hi, or whatever. Yvette, Jack. You just said Jack. I started singing at 7 in a choir. Wow. Wow. Yeah, people do start young. They do. Now, let's fast forward, Carmen, to your 20s. Were you singing in New Zealand? Were you singing in clubs? Were you doing concerts in your 20s? That kind of thing? Tell us a little background if you want to. If you want to. Three twins, says Yvette. Three twins or three wins? um, you're making me think of the two twins in The Shining, remember? They stand in front of the elevator. They weren't on the elevator, right? Did they get off the elevator and then just stood there and the pools of blood came out of the elevator? Trump, 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 Trump. Well, I guess we know how you feel. Yes, I'm all in on that. Um, it's just amazing how one side spins things, and it's so obvious that the defense yesterday now, was able to admit that Michael Cohen was still lying, but the childish, evil progressives can spin it all around. Now, I'm very happy that Biden is willing to debate President Trump, but I can't for the life of me think why Trump would so quickly agree to all Biden terms, which all favor him. There's no more of an anti-Trump person than Jake Tapper. Mark Levin. Oh, here's Selena. I always know by the orange. I love orange. Orange, black, and red are my favorite colors. Um, then I guess blue. I don't know. Did I say black? Black is definitely in there. um, Mark Levin said today that Dana Bash, he calls her Dana, which it really is. Dana Bash has the IQ of a squirrel. Yeah, he knows. He's got it right. Oh, they're talking about muting the mics. Biden wants the mics muted when he's talking from Trump. Uh, as I guess Mark said, and Sean Hannity said, we need to mute the mics of the news anchors, because what these bastards, sorry, but I'm just telling you the truth, what these sellout bastards are going to do is they're going to talk all over Trump's responses. They're going to gang up on him. They don't have any ethics to them anymore. They've sold out their journalistic skills, in my opinion. And we need one with Brett Baer. We need some people of character hosting these debates. Sometimes you just wish there were no moderators at all. I know you got to have some kind of structure. 27 watching right now at 1:25 East Coast time in the morning. Pop on to pop off, telling you about the Saturday night worldwide ramblings at 10 p.m. But I have another big announcement. Well, um, we're going to talk about Mrs. Bumgarten, one of her postings, Mrs. Bumgarten. It's not her real name, but that's what I'll call her. Notice B-U-M, Bumgarten. She hates Pastor Bob, and she has a whole bunch of things to say. Now, I can't be, too curt. I can't be too Kurt Cameron, telling everybody's going to hell if you don't do it exactly this way, that way, and the other way. Let me speak all about hell. That'll win you to Christ. No, it won't. It won't. It won't. It won't. But um, the judgment of Christ is real too. It is. So Shelley is here. Is Sleepy Joe going to have a earpiece? Yeah. And he should have no cheat notes either, Of course he is. And Obama telling him what to say? Yeah. Oh, boy. It's just so nerve-wracking. That night when I watch this, it'll be nerve-wracking because I know what Tapper and Bash are going to do, and Trump should have never agreed to them. Never agreed to them. They played all the past remarks. Donald, Jake Tapper told his control room, "Do not take the president live. I'll decide that." One time he played like a minute or two of them live and said, "Well, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. I will decide for America. It's not good for Tapper or Jake Crapper, as they call him. It's not good for me. Everywhere that guy goes, no physical confrontation. I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form. People should say you're a sellout. You're a bum. I don't watch you. Joe Biden has ruined America. Look what's happening with the Jewish people. Are you not Jewish, Jake Tapper? I have no respect for you, Jake Tapper. Don't bother him in a restaurant, though, or something like that if he's with his family. I'm talking about if you should see him by himself, but only, you know, no cursing and stuff like that. Just tell him that you feel he has sold out. But if he's with his family, he's eating, leave him alone. Leave him alone. Don't be like Maxine Waters. Hello, Stefan. Hijacking everyone. Oh, yeah. So, what was I saying? This happens every show, and I catch it when I watch the replay because I'm so vain. I think that song Carly Simon wrote was really about me. You know what I'm saying? You think it was another guy with big lips, Mick Jagger? No, it wasn't about Mick Jagger. It wasn't. She slept with him too, of course. But let's face it, Carly got around. It was about Warren Beatty. Warren Beatty. Yeah, Mr. Playboy himself. So that was something that I wanted to finish that thought, Neo. Hi, Neo. It's amazing how you people just show up. It's like you have a Jackie alarm. Oh, Jack is live. Let me wake up and put on a pot of coffee. um, so, oh yes, I remember. So we have Miss Bumgarten, who doesn't like Pastor Bob and says some stupid things, as they do on these Facebook groups sometimes. Didn't bring any water, huh? I got a little bit right here. Hi, Nancy Everett. Where are you from? We have a, no, we don't. We have a Cheryl Everhard. You're Nancy Everett. Are you related to Chad Everett, the late Chad Everett from Medical Center and many other things? I don't think the debate will happen. Now, there's people that agree with you, Nancy, just as I believe there will not be an election in November. Well, that I don't agree with you on. I think there will be, although you're right to think that there's the progressives are a bunch of dictators. So they turn everything that they aspire to be and they say that's what the Republicans are. They're the ones that are trying to end democracy. They say that as they are actively trying to take your rights away and turn America into whatever culture they're from or what have you. It's disgusting. They're trying to rip up the Constitution. So I agree with you on that. Um, the thing that's tricky about Biden is he doesn't want to leave because he wants to be able to pardon Hunter Biden. I mean, they're going to go ahead with the gun charges and they're going to go ahead with a tax trial. And as long as Biden is in office or someone that promises him that they will not uh, let him down, that they will pardon Hunter and pardon the president himself if he should need that in the future. We don't want to be about having to impeach the past president all the time, but it's Biden. It's Biden that is a threat to democracy, I believe, in my humble opinion. I think the debate will happen because Joe, if he has any breath in him, wants to stay in office to be there for Hunter and maybe to be there to pardon himself. Can you pardon for the future? I don't think you can. You've got to be convicted of something before you can pardon. Isn't that correct, Selena? Just notice you typed Bon Joyce instead of Bob Joyce on the title. Well, I will correct that. See, I'm going fast because I wanted to be on exactly at 1 a.m. Eastern. So I've done similar mistakes to that on the title. I will change that. Yeah. So did I remind you of the question? I didn't. The question is, and you can still vote until just before showtime Saturday night. Um, it has long been rumored that Pastor Bob Joyce is writing his life story or has written his life story. Always been a strong rumor that followed that that said that it won't be released. He will not let them release it until his death. So, do you believe it should be released when it's ready to go, or should it be released upon his death? We have several videos where people are on voting. Don't go to some obscure video and cast your vote. Either the May 11th show or say here. Okay, there's one other one, but let's just leave it at that because I could miss your vote. If you cast your vote in the verdict, I'm going to miss it because I don't check that every day. I check it randomly. So you know. But cast your vote, and at 10 p.m., I'm just going to give the results. There'll be no more time at that point to do it on Saturday night. All right, for uh, Worldwide Ramblings, Bon Joyce 007. Well, maybe at one time, Shell, but not anymore, really. Now he'd have to be in the reboot of Dynasty. He could play the John Forsythe role. Yeah, baby. Selena laughing out loud at Chili Belly, the campaign president, let's say the campaign chairman for President Trump, but in the country of Canada. You'll see her driving through the streets with her Trump bumper stickers. Yeah, that could get you in trouble with Trudeau. Hmm. So once again, I will try to finish the story I keep going away from. So Mrs. Bumgarten doesn't like the pastor, and I see these comments from time to time on other sites. I don't really keep them here, to be honest with you, because we love Pastor Bob Joyce very, very much. Um, it's one thing to be a little critical of something; it's another thing, to be downright nasty. I think we should respond to Mrs. Bumgarten, but I that's not my style really to do that. I can do it, but it's not what the style I bring here. But I thought, why don't I call Jack Savage up and have him come in here and do it and record it? It'll be a recorded video that could be released tonight or sometime over the weekend. I'm not quite sure yet. But let Jack Savage, inspired by Michael Savage, check out Michael Savage right here on YouTube, radio legend who's written many, many books and has a beautiful home on the water in San Francisco. He's like 81 years old, I guess. So Jack Savage is going to handle that part. He will. He can say things I just can't say. You know what I'm saying? So get ready for the third appearance of Jack Savage. We have two Jack Savage videos up. And I think Jack will be brought to you by no, the Fake Jake Tapper School of Journalism. The Fake Jake Tapper School of Journalism. Chris Holston is here. Good morning, Jack. Well, good morning, Chris. Are you a male Chris or a female Chris? And where are you watching us from? Kind of would be nice to see his autobiography while he is still around. Well, that vote won't count. Oh, yeah, it will. I did say that. Okay. But don't vote twice either. That's another thing. Yeah, I'm not censoring you, Neil. Um, but after 10 p.m. Saturday, I won't be counting any votes. I can tell you right now, the yays are slightly edging the no's, but there's a lot of no's. And, people feel that way for different reasons. There's never been any reason for you to, what's that? Save my life. I'm going down for the last time. Oh, that's a good song. What is that song? One hit wonder group. I mean, it was really a one hit wonder for rock and roll radio, not for pop radio, but it was a good song. Jimmy Samples, not Junior Samples is here. Hi, Jack. Hello, Jimmy. Welcome, welcome. I can't believe you found us at 1:35 in the morning on a Friday, the 17th of May. 18th is our worldwide ramblings earlier, 10 p.m. special time, 10 p.m. East Coast time. But you can always watch the replay. You can always watch the replay. So I hope that President Trump, the idea that they write all these rules that would favor them, and Trump says, "Okay, what? Oh, oi!" I just, he makes me so nervous. I literally watch less coverage now. It's just like, this every day, it's drama. That's one thing Nikki Haley was right about, but the idea that she would be the one that we want for president, forget it. Oh, there's some people out there, women that are pro-choice, for example, women that think Trump is too sexist and this, that, and the other thing. But first of all, Trump is different now than he was back in the day, back in, say, 2006. I'm not sitting here saying he didn't sleep with Stormy Daniels. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it's not a crime. Hush money isn't a crime either. We all have a past. We all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. So there you go. I just want what we had when we had President Trump. Yeah. That's what I want, not this gentleman that's behind me. That's from the New York Post, by the way. Blame them. Worst president ever. In my lifetime, I can say that. Of course, I don't really know what was going on in 1957 when I was like 1 year old, Stefan. I don't really remember. 31 watching, 7 likes. Please subscribe and like and hit the notification bell. That would be swell. For those of you who are new, I tried to do this 12 hours ago, but we could not get camera to appear live. And so that led to me getting Dandy Andy up here at 2 p.m. when he came back from his doctor visit. And he worked on things for a couple of hours, had to clean some things out and discover some things and what have you. So, I will be very grateful for him, and how all of a sudden, as I was getting ready to see if we could go live, how all of a sudden the camera came back on for live. It wasn't that the camera was not working. It the screen was black when we prepared to do the live shot. Weird, weird. If you only say like 2 words, I'm never sure exactly what you're referring to. Hello from Otway, Ohio. Laura Shadley joins us. Yes, I can't believe it, Laura. You found us here at 1:40 in the morning or whatever it is. Wonder if there will be a Walter version of the debate. Peanut as the moderator. Yes, yes. Okay, I had to think about that. So you're a Jeff Dunham fan, right? Yeah, he's very good. But keep in mind, he doesn't write his own stuff. So it's kind of like I had to tell my son when he became a big Elton John fan. I said he was under the impression that he wrote the lyrics. And I said, no, Elton doesn't write lyrics. And he was very disappointed. I said, well, you're a big Bernie Taupin fan then. You're a big Bernie Taupin fan. And all those great tunes you're hearing, the music was written by Elton John. He's a genius, but he doesn't write the lyrics. So Jeff Dunham has great writers, and what he tells them to do, I understand, Neo, as he says, don't try. How's he put it now? Don't try to write for me per se. Write funny stuff, and I'll determine whether it's right for me. I'll determine if it's right for me. And of course, his real talent comes in the ventriloquism and his stage presence, how he remembers the material. And it's really, really a great presentation. So he went from he had to actually fund one of his early TV specials. They weren't sure if it would go. And after he did fund that one, he never had to fund another one and never had to fund another one. I kill you. I kill you. Ahmad, the dead terrorist. Janet Williams is here. Hi, Jack and everyone. Blessings. After I just said I kill you, you say blessings. Thank you very much. We all need blessings. We all need the grace of the Lord, and the kindness of other people certainly goes well. 88 degrees tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be where I am. You know what it is now, Laura Shadley? 54, but mostly clear. That's a good sign. Oh, I got a pair of sneakers today that Mr. T would be proud of. Mr. T is back, and what the heck is going on? Have you seen these commercials, these sneaker commercials with Mr. T? He looks a little smaller and shorter for some reason, but he's still got the muscles and stuff. He looks close to how he looked on the A team in the 70s. It's 50 years later, gang. More than that. Holy moly, Jimmy Samples. I can't believe it myself. Mr. T looks great. So I had cheap slip-ons that were very comfortable, and for a while were okay. Okay. I mean, we're talking Walmart specials along with my name brand sneakers. I have a pair right now of Reeboks, and I have a black pair of tie uh, Skechers sneakers and some shoes. And I have a pair of black sneakers with a big, thick white heel that I swear to God, I make jokes about Pastor Bob shopping at Family Dollar. I just saw them there at Family Dollar because Karen likes to go in there sometime. We had two, now we only have one Family Dollar. So a lot of Family Dollars are closing, but not where they're really popular. If you're watching in South Carolina, forget about it. You got no problem. Your Golden Corral's not closing. And I can tell you for sure, Dollar Tree ain't closing there. not not in South Carolina, no. But in some spots, they're having problems, and another place that is starting to, have bankruptcy problems if they haven't filed. Red Lobster, huh? I didn't go in there, but I would pass by the one we have right up the road here, about 3.5 miles, and my God, it was pretty busy. But then Texas Roadhouse came around. They're only open for dinner on the weeknights and lunch and dinner on the Saturday and Sunday. My goodness. Was that a cult? I mean, 60, 70 cars in front of there? It's like going up to the Flaming Grill on a Saturday night. We did that last Saturday night. And yeah, there were probably 40, 50 cars because there were like 300 people in there, and it's that big. And it's the buffet lines move really quickly because the food's so great there and so plentiful. People won't spend too long getting it. They want to get it and go sit down and eat it. So everybody has a pep in their step. I'm shaking the camera. I'm shaking. Everybody has a pep in their step. I like the fact that I'm putting my on-air light there now instead of having to lift that table over here. Seems to work. Seems to work. Um, and so But we lost our Golden Corral because here on the East Coast, nobody wants to work. People don't tip well. I don't know if they tip any better in Virginia and North Carolina, South Carolina. Oh, well, they don't do much, but they're counting on those tips. They're counting on those tips. They get you a couple of sweet teas or whatever you're drinking or what have you, and if there is a need, they'll get it for you. Um, they used to get you more rolls, but I don't think they do that. You get your own rolls now, and that was the wrong thing to do because that was one more thing they could do for you. But someone that goes in and doesn't tip, and these people that talk about they order DoorDash or they order Grubhub. I think Grubhub changed things. There's a built-in tip. If you don't want to tip, they don't want you. I don't, or Uber, you don't tip Uber. Nobody should be coming to your door and nobody should be delivering your food. If you can't tip, if you don't think their service to you is worth it, because here's the deal, if nobody tips, there won't be anybody to deliver your food. Now some restaurants have their own people, but they expect a tip too. Some people work it in. People complain, oh, they work the tip in. Yeah, they do, because otherwise nobody's going to do it. Nobody's going to do it. So if somebody comes to my door especially like somebody I know, like the Brother Bruno's people. I'm going to throw them $10, maybe a little more. We don't do that too often. We don't do a lot of home delivery, I must admit. Um, but you know, you got to tip the people. If somebody is performing a service for you, and especially when they go out of their way, you need to tip them. If you want to order DoorDash and you don't want to tip, I think you should go get your own gosh darn food, Neo. Go get your own gosh darn food. Don't court this vote, Jack. Don't count this vote, Jack. I voted before. Well, I'm going to have that listed, but it's got to be in the May 11th show. If you voted in the live stream of that, then I already have your vote listed. I'm not going to go back and look at the stream again because I was doing it in real time. And then the replay crowd. And then Sunday night, that's when I came on. Midnight Ramblings. People were voting there too. So that's Sunday night, the start of the 13th. Those are the two videos, and here, I guess, that you can vote. So I don't count the vote until, sometime Saturday uh, early evening. But I also want to have some time with Karen before I start the live show. I have to tell you, in all seriousness, I've been like, after 2 or 3 months ago, our biggest month ever. Right now, this could be our lowest month in a long time. I feel like I'm clawing to get views. Yeah, you can have almost 7,600 subscribers now, but, I rely on those pre-recorded videos. And when they die at like a 1,700 or something or less, I know certain videos are going to be a problem because it's not on those magic topics or the magic topic. But, I live shows that go over 1,000 are good, but multi thousands would be great. That's that's how I supplement my retirement. That's how I supplement my retirement. I voted before. I believe that Pastor Bob and Bob's book should be released when he wants it to be. I see what you're saying. When he wants it to be released. If Pastor Bob's book, it's Pastor Bob's book, so it's Pastor Bob's choice. Ultimately, you're absolutely right, Karen. But this is a very big issue here. Um, and I don't think I want to go into it right now. I'll save that. I'll save that. Um, it would also be someone's prerogative to call him a coward. It would be. I know you would never do that. I'm not saying I would. I think he's a mighty man of God. But, there would be people that say, here's the deal. I'll say this much. Um, Saul got a new name from the Lord. He became Paul. Um, Abram became Abraham. But it's not as if God wanted us to think that they were never Abram, that he was never Abram before, or Paul was never Saul. No, he was saying this is your new name in Christ. That's in relation to Paul the apostle. Um, so if, and we speak of possibilities, I could be wrong. If Pastor Bob really did used to be someone else before, um, some people obviously they say it all the time. They feel it's cagey of him, and he's coming up to the end of the 80s. Say he's 88, going to be 89 January. Um, he's not going to pastor that church forever. So you know, I understand the day if he were to say that he was somebody else before Pastor Bob Joyce, that's the end of the Benton ministry, and that's a factor. I understand that. Hi, Kay from Kentucky. I believe you're that Kay. I call her Kay from Kay Jewelers. I believe we should honor Pastor Bob's wishes, but I'm selfish, and it's not about me. Yeah, I think it's a complex issue, um, because I don't think you have to wait till you're dead to explain why you did something, you know? I think certainly when he's ready to retire from Benton, that would be a good time. Thank you, Carmen. I appreciate that. Check out Carmen right here on YouTube. Simon Peter. Um, yeah, I never really thought much about that, Neil. I'll have to look at that scripture. Newport News. Oh, I know the Newport News and Williamsburg have their Golden Corral. Hampton closed. Yeah, there's definitely some Golden Corrals closing, Neo. But man, when they do it right, it is magical. I ate at one coming back from Florida. I was right near Maryland, I think, but not quite in Maryland yet. And it was at a truck stop, this Golden Corral, basically. But oh, was it good? Oh, was it good? Yeah, there you are saying you're from Kentucky. I remembered, Kay. I did, because you wrote me a nice email. And in fact, you inspired a video. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll have to do something to raise your viewers. Yeah, viewers or views. When you do a topic for um, 6.5 years, it's going to start to get old. And it's great that the live shows are on the upswing, but I need, ah, I need those live shows. So we just have to come up with some good stuff. Why does Mrs. Bumgarten hate the pastor? Shell, once again, let me explain something to you, dear. I think you had a similar question. I'm not going to give you the recipe for the secret sauce because then you talk about raising the views, there'll be no reason for you to watch the video. So if I tell you, oh, I found out something about Pastor Bob Joyce that you're going to find very interesting, and that video will premiere on Saturday night, you can't come on and ask me, what's it about, Jack? If I give you the content now, oh, I don't know if you're really the right woman for President Trump, Shell. I think you may have to go to Mar-a-Lago and have a meeting with him, and you know, he may have to make a decision to put Michael Cohen in there instead of you, because we all know Michael Cohen wanted a big job. I'm sorry, Shell. Sadly, Hampton uh, was fast but good. Neil, when you say Hampton, what the heck are you talking about? You're not talking about the Hamptons, right? You're certainly not talking about New Hampton, which is 2 miles from me. I don't know where Hampton is. It's nothing to do with the Hamptons, where all the rich people live, right? Uh, if Pastor Bob's book is being released, would draw more people to Christ. That's another point of view, Janet Williams. But he doesn't want to play Madison Square Garden. He's in his late 80s. He doesn't want that kind of craziness. He likes what he's got now. So I understand that point of view. I don't know how long he plans to pastor the church. He's been doing it since 2011. Um, I don't believe in the numbers game either. I mean, I understand the scriptures talks about the Great Commission, go into all the world and preach the gospel. That's the admonishment. And today's church, myself included, how often do we do that? I have done it, but have I done it enough? But there's this kind of idea that it's a numbers game, and that and there is even a scripture you could use that could support that attitude. That's why he tarries, that he's waiting for. We're never going to understand all this scripture, but it's like uh, scripture says, Jesus says, I will save who I want to save. You know, uh, it's not, he's not really waiting on you and me to to work our tails off and see what quantity we can get of people that we feel that we've led to Christ. No, it's about Him loving it when we are obedient to Him and we go out and as the Holy Spirit prompts us, we share the gospel with someone. That's happened to me many times in my life, and it's never comfortable because you think of your own failures and you think of the reaction you might get. It's almost like you're a Jehovah Witness knocking at the door or a Mormon. I always know it's a Mormon because he has carrot top red hair and he's wearing a tie. And sometimes the Jehovah Witnesses have a different uniform. So, yeah. Um, but I love the Golden Corral when it's done right, as it was in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and other places that I've been to. And oh, Ben Salem. I want to go back to Ben Salem. There's the Parks Casino there, and they have entertainers. I look at the schedule just so I can. There's a very reasonable hotel very close to the Parks Casino. And then there's that Ben Salem Golden Corral, like one I've never seen. They serve cocktails, including frozen like strawberry daiquiris and stuff there. All those little 5-year-olds, they get so drunk. Oh, mommy went back to the buffet. Here's my chance. Could happen, right? Sure it could. Sure it could, Neo. Don't say it couldn't. Hampton, Virginia. See, that's probably beautiful country, and I know nothing of it. I have been to, I've been to around the Winchester, Virginia area. I've been to Virginia Beach, but not too much time in your beautiful state with Governor Glenn Youngkin, who might be a very good choice to be the vice presidential pick because people, he could win Virginia for President Trump. The food was good at the Golden Corral there. Um, Oh, the COVID, yeah, that's one of the things that brought down the one here in the Hudson Valley was the COVID, but people just, it's not enough tip money and stuff like that. That's a big problem. And the people who work in the kitchen work so hard. It all depends on the attitude of the community. You can go into Wendy's here and somebody who's making $15, $16 an hour now. Yeah, what do you want? Say as little as possible to you. And then you can go into Virginia or you can go into Port Orange, Florida, where I went to Culver's, and they're also friendly and nice and seem happy to be there. It's a whole different thing. Hi, Paul Bennett. Hey, Jack, how are you? Paul from Baltimore. Yes, I enjoyed my trip through that expensive, long white tunnel you have there. And it avoided a whole lot of traffic on 95 as I was coming back from Florida. But I paid dearly for that, Paul. I mean, um, that friendly Alexa, I guess that's Alexa 2 on the map, the what do you call it? The map quest thing. Um, you know what I'm trying to say. Um, she didn't say, well, uh, if you do take my suggestion, it will cost you X amount of dollars, because I was on a free road. It was going to stay free for a while anyway on 95. Once you get to New Jersey, there's a toll booth every, 2.5 miles. Forget about it. Forget about it. Oh, there'll be huge ratings for the debate, but I'm just annoyed that President Trump is not demanding that it be more fair. He wants 3 debates. They'll never do 3, and the third one would be Fox News. I just can't believe how shifty and diabolical these progressives are, and Biden himself is. I have to say that I've never been so disappointed in my president. Dear, 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 what's going on in Baltimore, Paul? Those Orioles are pretty hot right now, aren't they? I think they're pretty hot right now. That's what I'm told. Um, so yeah, well, there's 36 watching and 15 likes. Worldwide Ramblings Saturday night at 10 p.m. East Coast time. Jack Savage will make an appearance speaking about Mrs. Bumgarten and people like her, and he might ad lib some other things because I can't stop him. I can't stop him. He might ad lib some other things. Brought to you by the Jake Tapper, or maybe we'll call it the Jake Crapper School of Journalism. When you say Newport, you make me think of Rhode Island. That's where we were last September, Neo. The rates really change come September at this one hotel that we stayed at. It was a motel, not a hotel, but we saved a ton of money going in September instead of August or July to Newport. Very expensive area. We saw the big castle that was used for the exterior shot of Dark Shadows. Yes. Yeah, they are doing pretty good right now, the Orioles. They are. Buck is not managing anywhere now, is he? I don't think he is. He's not managing this season. He worked for the Yes Network, and then he went to work for the Mets, right? And didn't do that well. Mets, I think, are doing okay this year, and the Yankees are doing well as well. Yeah, I'll tell you. But Joe Biden was when we thought he was like Ted Kennedy was asked who he thought the dumbest senator was, the United States Senate, and he said, "Oh, that would have to be Joe. That would have to be Joe." I don't think so. Look at the houses he has all along, all while people thinking, "Oh, this guy's so stupid." Listen to the things he's always on the wrong side of every issue. That's true. Um, he was. He turned out to be quite the businessman, along with the rest of his family. Things that make you go, I like what you say, Kay, about we should honor Master Bob's wishes, but I'm selfish. We all are. We all are. It's another thing we have to deal with all the time. All the time. So that's 37 watching and 15 likes. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. If there's anything here at all you like. What else happened in the news today? I think Senator Melendez's wife has third breast cancer, stage 3. So her trial is not going to happen anytime soon. All she has to do is ask Jesus to forgive her sins, wash and cleanse her. If she hasn't done that already. Same for Senator Melendez. So what are you saying, Jack? You're saying you're saying that Vladimir Putin could ask Jesus to forgive him for all the atrocities he's committed. He could ask the blood of Christ to forgive him and accept Jesus as his personal Lord and Savior instead of absolutely Joe Biden can pardon Hunter and everybody else in the Biden family, and I believe pardon himself. Go for it. Just get the heck out. But once you say the power of the pardon is not absolute, it'll hurt Republicans more than anybody else. It always has been. That's the way it is. I hope that the Supreme Court soon makes their decision that while President Trump was president, that he is immune from prosecution for anything to do with those events. So, even if Joseph Biden is a real influence peddler through his son, himself, his brother, which would be the T word, I think the power of the pardon is absolute. Very nice statue of Reverend Billy Graham just unveiled and dedicated in the Capitol. Oh boy, they better put some security around that. You know these demonstrators, these progressives. Oh boy, they better do that. They were trying to get at the Lincoln statue too. That's wonderful. Wonderful man. I saw him preach. Billy Graham at where they had the World's Fair right next to what where Shea Stadium was, right? Um, and they still have the World up there from the old World's Fair. I saw Billy Graham. He could barely walk to the stage. With a little help, he did, and he preached a powerful sermon. That was years ago, probably in my second marriage. In my second marriage. So, if Pastor Bob Joyce didn't want people to know who he really is, then he wouldn't have come on to YouTube singing his old songs. Yeah, singing his old songs and preaching the gospel. And, when you begin international internet ministry in 2011, don't blame people for noticing what they're seeing and hearing. Uh, so it probably, but he couldn't have been a country pastor if he came on and said that he was Elvis. And again, I speak of possibilities. I could be wrong, and he could be the love child son of Elvis. I say that from time to time. Um, so watch out for that DOJ. Oh boy. I never thought that what's his name there, the old man who was going to be a Supreme Court justice. I felt bad for him when he didn't get it because I just thought he seemed like a nice man. Like that's enough, right? What's his name? Terrible, terrible. They're all terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. I'll say one thing though, Blinken plays a mean guitar. He's quite a musician, and I didn't fault him for that. I guess it was in the Ukraine that he did it, right? Playing come on, rocking in the free world. Rocking in the free world. Well, picked an appropriate song, right? Yeah, go play your guitar. Just don't try to run the country or negotiate for us. Huh? Huh? So that's it for Pop On to Pop Off as we approach almost 10 minutes after 2, an hour and 6 minutes right now, 42 likes. When I'm thinking about leaving, it always gets the highest number. Please hit the like button. And remember, Worldwide Ramblings tomorrow night, which will be Saturday night, the 18th at 10 p.m. Sunday afternoon, going to Clark, New Jersey, the Polish American Club, with my friends Norma and Sean. My friend Sean. He's a blessing to me because, at some point you look around and you don't really have too many friends anymore. Some I lost to politics, some I lost to religion. Oh, religion and politics really don't mix when you're trying to, have your old friends. But, I got to be me, got to be me. And so we'll be down there Sunday afternoon for 18-time Grammy winner Jimmy Sturr. I don't know, about $25 to get in. Polish food, Polish drink, beer, all that kind of stuff. Be careful now. And it'll be a great afternoon with special guest Chris Caffrey from the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. He's out the next week in Pennsylvania. I'll go if Sean and Norma go. That's a Sunday as well. Ah, yes. No such thing as real coincidences. We specify that. I usually go like that, coincidences. There's no such thing as luck. There's no such thing as coincidences for those who walk with the Lord. So there you go. Thank you very much. I'm so glad we got camera back because I couldn't get it this afternoon. And he was up here for 2 hours getting rid of some maggots that had crashed the system and what have you, and everything is humming right now, and that's really good to see. So look for Jack Savage, his take on Mrs. Bumgarten, who does not like Pastor Bob Joyce. And he'll probably say a few other things because you can't stop that guy when he gets on a roll, He must be the brother of Michael Savage, who I definitely encourage you to watch here on YouTube. Michael Savage from San Francisco, but originally from New York City, no doubt about it. All right, Jack is coming back. He told me he would, so we'll see what he has to say. Please subscribe, like, and thank you, replay crowd. Saturday night, we'll have our Bob Joyce poll. It's long been rumored that Pastor Bob Joyce is writing his life story or has written it by now. Do you feel it should be released upon his death, which that's been a rumor is what they would wait for, or should it be released now? What's your opinion? I'll give you the results Saturday night at 10 p.m. and it'll be real early because I don't want people to start voting because it won't count then. It just won't count. At some point, you have to close the poll. Okay? Even if we're on a roll. All right. Almost forgot how to do this. End stream. That's what it says. I do appreciate you so much. Thank you for popping on with me as we popped on to pop off. Have a great Friday.